Hello, my name is Pastor Joe, and this is today's video devotional. In John chapter 13, we see the story of where Jesus is washing his disciples' feet. He takes off his outer garments and ties a towel around his waist and begins to wash the disciples' feet. And when he gets to Simon Peter, Simon looks at him and says to Jesus, "Are you going to wash my feet?" And Jesus said, "You don't understand what I'm doing now, but soon you will understand." And Peter said to him, "Never, Lord, you will never wash my feet." And Jesus said to him, "If I don't wash your feet, then you have no part with me." And we also see that Jesus continued to wash the other disciples' feet, even the feet of Judas, the one who was going to betray him that very night for 30 pieces of silver. We see a contrast between two disciples here. We see the contrast of Peter, who was corrected by Jesus, and Judas was corrected at times by Jesus as well. But we see two very different responses in how they went about responding to the Father's correction. When Jesus corrected Peter, we see that he continued and he grew in his relationship. What is it like when we as disciples are corrected by God? We grow in our relationship when we receive that correction. But notice what happens when we don't receive the correction from the Lord. Just a few days before, we see that Jesus was in the house and Mary came and poured out expensive perfume upon Jesus' feet and washed her feet with her hair. And Judas was there, and he was over the money, or the treasurer of all the disciples' money. And he said to the lady Mary, he said to her, you could have sold that. It was a year's worth of wages. You could have sold that, and we could have given the money to the poor. The thing is, Judas wasn't concerned about the poor. He was more concerned because John tells us that he had a tendency to help himself to what was ever in the disciples' treasury. And how Jesus corrected Judas, how he responded to it, we see how that eventually played out. How you respond to correction will determine how far you go in your discipleship process. Respond to correction like Peter. Peter said some dumb things, but you know what? He always responded to the correction of the Father in the right way. One minute he was saying, "Jesus, thou art the Son of the living God." And then the next moment Jesus is telling him, "Get thee behind me, Satan," because of something Peter had said that wasn't God's will for him. But we see that Peter finally grew up and he realized that correction, when received right, can have a major impact on the disciple's life. Because if you fail to receive correction, you'll end up being like Judas. And all I know is I don't know anybody named Judas to this day, but I know a whole lot of men named Peter. So have a great day today and choose a correction and choose how to go about your life and your discipleship by being corrected by the Lord. Have a great day.